In this video, I'm going to do a run through of the version 2.0 travel planning spreadsheets. So if you have followed me for a while, then you might remember back in 2019, I made some Excel spreadsheets, which were helpful at the time. They had what I needed. They were quite simple, basic, easy to use, but over the years, I did expand on them and add new features and handy things. So they have been a bit superseded now, and now I use the version 2. Also, other big change is I made those original spreadsheets in Microsoft Excel, but I had so many questions from people wanting it in Google Sheets, and I can understand why. It's very handy to just send the link to whoever else you're going on the trip with, and everyone can get in there and see all the info and update it. So these spreadsheets are now in Google Sheets. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick run through of the spreadsheets, the tabs, how I use them, some things to consider. If you like these spreadsheets, I'll have a link down below where you can purchase them. There'll also be some written notes about it in the blog post if you prefer to read those instead of listening to me in the video. Okay, so first things first, there's an instructions tab. You can read that. There's some links down the bottom here that I've added to some posts on my blog that will help with your trip planning, where to get started. Then we go to the vision board. So if you are like me, you probably have a full-time job, and unfortunately you only get about 3-4 weeks per year of annual leave, so you really got to make the most of it, and I like to just pack in as much as I can. So here you can map out how many nights you think you might need to spend in each place. I like a visual, so I added this little map here, and if you write the country name, it'll color it in for you. All of these spreadsheets, by the way, are not locked. So if you want to add extra rows, you can just right click and insert, and then press Control D to copy down the level above for the formatting. So you can do that on any of these tabs. You can insert whatever rows that you need, and you can also just copy and paste. There are some merged cells throughout, so if you want to keep the formatting, copy and paste is your best bet. Okay, so next we have the trip overview. So you'll probably be bouncing between this tab a lot. This one is like your dashboard telling you where everything is at. So you can see your spending. I've chosen these categories, but you can update these however you like. These link back to the expenses tab. There are 20 different tabs, by the way, hence why down the bottom here, this is all hyperlinked so you can quickly navigate between them. And on the expense tab, if you click this here, it'll take you back to that trip overview. So those are on all of the tabs as well for quick reference. Then you can see a nice graph visual of where you're at. You can also see if you're ahead or behind. If you enter in your trip dates, it'll tell you a number of days, and that flows through to some other tabs as well. So just be careful about overriding. I've got little notes in there if you shouldn't override the formula because it might stuff up some other tabs. You can see what's left to go and who's going on the trip, some priority items. So next we do the trip admin, the not so fun stuff. If you're booking flights for everyone, you might want to put their passport numbers in here. You can compare your travel insurance. I get my cash out before I leave the country. So I go to a money exchange, but I need to know how much I'm exchanging. So then I do this little calculation of what I think I'll be buying in cash and work out how much to convert. Most things you can do on card, obviously, these days, but it's good to have some cash just in case. In the Good to Know tab, I don't know why we have so many different power plug adapter types around the world. I have a little box with all of these little attachments to know which ones I need to take on each trip. I put some photos in here for quick reference. You can also note any visa requirements, cultural events. So if you wanted to go to Oktoberfest in Germany, put that in there. Or if you were like me, when I went, I was like, I need to avoid Oktoberfest, so that's when I put avoid dates. And then some useful links if there's a guide for some hiking routes or something that you find when you're researching but you're not ready to do like your deep dive in it, you just want to save the link for later, then you can put that in here. Next, we have the trip research, where you'll probably be spending a lot of time. So after you do your vision board and you start narrowing down where you want to go, what might also be the decider is the affordability, especially if you're going solo, which I generally do. So I try and sandwich affordable destination with a more expensive one. So in one trip, I did Poland and the Dolomites. So noting all that stuff down and time of year, when to go, can help you narrow down and decide what region you want to focus on, or what country or what cities, etc. There's plenty of space for you to put notes, and if you need more text, these cells will automatically expand the more text that you need, and you can insert any rows extra if you want them as well. Then we go to the long haul flights. So if you hadn't picked up on my accent, I am Australian, which means you usually lose a day just getting out of the country and a day just to get back in. So that's why I really got to pack these itineraries. So I want a flight that has a short layover. So for this trip here, you're going to see a few references in this spreadsheet to Ireland and Switzerland, because that is the trip that I was supposed to do leaving in a couple of weeks' time. I've unfortunately cancelled it because I'm just not comfortable transiting through the Middle East. I already had one of my flights cancelled, pushed the next one like a day late. I'm not doing it. So anyway, I had planned it all in detail. I have the backup flight that I also considered, and then I had the one that I booked, came down to cost, but you compare like luggage and layovers and the flight times and all that sort of stuff. And then when you've booked it, you can tick it off. You can hide these rows after you have booked it, or you can delete them. I just keep it there because I like to just compare it. If I need a backup route, you never know. Then I have the internal flights. Sometimes it's actually cheaper, well, a lot of the time, to just get a bus or a train instead of an internal flight. But I still want to do the comparison. Depends on, obviously, the time available. So there's a section for internal flights. There's another one later on for other types of transport further down this tab. Accommodation is pretty self-explanatory. I put the TripAdvisor rating, and then I also put my own rating. Normally I have way more lines, but I've just cleaned it up and deleted the ones that I didn't go ahead and book. So I have the cost in my own currency, but you can also change the currency to whatever one you need for your own nationality. Then we have multi-day tour comparison. So there's obviously some very pretty places in the world, but you need to drive to them, and I'm not comfortable driving in another country. So sometimes I'll get on a multi-day tour, usually in the US. This is a good one to compare the inclusions, exclusions, and all of that stuff. If you just want to do day trips from cities, then you can compare them in this section here. And then we have other attractions, so things like viewpoints, museums, whatever else you want to see. That's the other transport I was talking about, where I'm comparing trains and buses. You can even book if you've done your seat reservation. Travel passes. So Switzerland was getting really confusing with all of the different options. I was trying to work out which one was best. So I have this travel pass comparison here. Then we have car rental if you are looking at hiring one. Very handy if you are not going to pick up and drop off in the same city, compare different costs and routes and insurance and all of that. Okay, then after you've done your overview research, you can then narrow it down to your destination, put in some highlights, decide what are must-haves. If you have different appetites in your group, maybe some people like heights and doing those sorts of things. I hate them, so I would be I'm not voting for that thing, but someone else might. So you can think of all the things that your group wants to do and then narrow down which ones you guys are actually going to do. If you want to go more detailed, if you're planning a really big round-the-world trip, or you want to keep each country or each city separate, then some of the trip research stuff that we did on this tab could go in the destination research. And if you wanted to keep one tab per place, you can right-click and then duplicate, and then you can have one tab for Berlin, one for Paris, or whatever you're doing. If you day trips, tours, restaurants, and then other things to see and do. Then we have some photo inspo. I love travel photos. I have them all over my walls at home. I make photo books. It's gone a bit funky with the formatting there. And so I like to heavily research where I'm going beforehand. So I just got these photos off the internet. I'll see them when I'm browsing on blogs, just different angles and things I want to replicate. This one looked cool. So I just keep them in here, file them for later. Because it's nothing worse than trying to find a photo that you saw and trying to track back where it was. Then we go into the itinerary. So there's a few different itineraries depending on how detailed you want to go. I like to go max detail, which I'll show you in a sec. But if you just want an overview, if you're going on a cruise or a road trip, or you're doing one of those multi-day tours where most of it someone else has planned it, maybe you just need to make a note of some of your optionals or what you want to do in the evening, then this itinerary overview could be a good option for you. Pretty simple. Then we have the calendar. So I'm obsessed with this one. This is my main tab. So I will start here and list out all of my things that I'm doing on each day, and then the calendar will automatically populate, and these dates will automatically populate as well when you enter in your trip start date. So there's 12 weeks in the spreadsheet, which I think is enough for most people. I mean, I've never done a 12-week trip, but if you need longer, let me know. Send me an email and I can tailor the spreadsheet for a whole year or however long you need. So after the calendar view, we then have the weekly view. So if you love rainbow colors and color coding like I do, this makes me really happy. So this is all linked. So you can just click on day 55 and it'll take you straight to day 55. And instead of scrolling up heaps each week, I've got a little return to top of tab button so you can quickly navigate between your different days. I've split it into breakfast, morning, lunch, etc. If you wanted to, you can change this to time. So you can just type straight over that and put 9 p.m. or whatever you're doing. Or you could put priority order, however you want to customize it. Again, it's not locked. So if you want to tailor it to suit you, type over existing text, go for it. Just try and avoid typing over formulas. So you can see that all goes into detail for each day. You can put some notes to your accommodation. The next one is if you want to go more detailed and do it in a schedule format. So it's in half-hourly increments. Again, this is all hyperlinked as well and color-coded. I did have an example one here for one of the days on my trip that I was going to do. So you can see it's quite detailed. You can see, is this feasible to actually fit all of this in? So schedule format. Now, I've tried all of these methods that I just showed for the itinerary. However, I still use Microsoft Word. So I am still loving my template that I made ages ago because I go really detailed. Like I put maps in here, and sometimes my itinerary for each day can be 3 to 4 pages. I like to put opening hours, best times to visit things, links, entry fees, opening hours, just all of it. I want all of it in there. So I go even more detailed than those Excel spreadsheets. If you don't want to do that type of super detailed planning, then these Excel sheets will be fine. If you don't want to use Word, which you can also put into Google Docs, then you could also use Canva. I did do some other templates in there because I had some requests. If you want something else that everyone can access, via an online link, then the Canva one could be a good option. But after you do your itinerary, there's still more to plan. So then we go into the task list. So there's 2 versions. If you want one where it's time-based, if that's a bit less overwhelming, then there's this version here. And there's blank and pre-filled for each of these. Just go back one. Here, blank. Then there is this master task list, which is the format that I prefer. So you can put in when, and then you can just filter it. So if you clear it and then just go, what do I need to do 2 weeks before, it'll compress it that way. So up to you which version you want to use, but you can use both of them or one of them or whatever you want to do. And I have left these pre-filled tasks in here to save you time. If there's any that aren't relevant to you, just delete them, insert extra rows, customize it however you please. Blank version. The expense tracker. So this one is super handy for checking if you are on track with your budget or not. Now, when I go on my trips, it's usually just me going solo, or I'll usually just go with my mum. So it makes the accounts, so to speak, quite simple. You just divide it in 2. But if you were going as a group, there is a little calculator over here, which will calculate how much each person needs to pay. So I would not use this for your own individual expenses. I would make a copy of this tab. So if it's something that you brought and it's just for you, like you brought a coffee or whatever, then you can have your own tab where you're tracking all of that. This one's more for the group expenses, or if you're going solo, just punch it all in there. There is a built-in currency calculator, because I was getting really sick of having to switch tabs between Google currency converters and everything. So you can see that it'll do the conversion for you. I list everything in my own currency, and then I like to have the local cost as well. So some things you might pay for before the trip, and I like to use Revolut. So if I'm booking a hotel and it needs to be paid in euro, I can just load euro onto my Revolut and pay with that. So it's handy to know the local cost and, well, I'd say like the local currency cost and your own currency cost. Anyway, so you can add your own flight categories and whatever else. They're just the ones that I like to use, but if you wanted to do it by person A, B, C instead of making the separate expense tabs, then go for it, up to you. Next, we have the packing list. blank version, categorized, pre-filled. You can delete whatever's not applicable to you or keep the stuff that I have on there. The group packing list. You can add more of these. You can just copy and paste if you need more. But if you have kids, for example, then it's a lot easier to track what's been packed. Outfit planner. I have a travel capsule wardrobe, so I don't use this section, but I know some people like to plan their outfits, or if you're going to an event on your cruise ship and you need a special outfit for it, or whatever you want to do to that level of detail, you can. I just use the clothes shopping section where I work out if I need to buy anything. Then we have the contacts. If you are booking tours or accommodation, you want one spot, you can store that in here. So that is the travel planning spreadsheet. I hope you found this overview helpful. I'll have the link down below if you wanted to get a copy for yourself. The link will be down in the description box. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments.